For today's SKIMspiration, we're going to be exploring consumer decision journeys, the challenges, benefits, and opportunities of mapping a consumer journey. This is all about understanding how and where consumers browse for information, search for products, shop for products. It's crucial knowledge that brands need to optimize their marketing mix. And if you're like most of our clients, you've probably conducted this type of foundational research, whether it's journey mapping research or path to purchase research. But over the past several months, clients have been coming to us with a lot of questions around today's specific consumer journey, what's changed and what hasn't. So, we're digging into the topic with three experts who lead our practice in this space around the world. Lori, Michael, and Minnie partner with brands in the Americas, in the Asia Pacific region, and EMEA, respectively. So, Lori, let's start with what we're seeing in the market. Can you talk a little bit about how the pandemic has affected decision journeys from a consumer perspective?
Yes, happy to. There's been a huge increase in the comfort level of shopping online across all generations and all regions. Older people suddenly understand it, both shopping online and home delivery. Even in regions where online shopping was already increasing in popularity, it went from choice to necessity. Consumers are using online resources that they didn't use before, which has led to an importance of multi-channel journeys. If you're not factoring in the impact of online and mobile behavior on consumer choices, you may be facing serious gaps in your go-to market strategy.
And Minnie, what are we seeing from the marketer's perspective?
Yeah, what we saw in the past was that marketeers were examining consumer journeys from a business point of view. So, with a focus on creating loyalty. So, a popular framework that was often used, for example, is how to create awareness, consideration, evaluation, purchase intent, and loyalty. However, what we see now is that marketeers have shifted their focus to the consumer. So they want to understand the needs of consumers. So where are consumers looking for information? What kind of information do they find interesting? Where and what do they buy? And what do they experience along the way? So, and with the consumer in mind, there also comes the realization that every journey is different. And this makes it all kind of messy and challenging. So in this session, we want to reassure the marketeers that this messiness is nothing to be afraid of, though. Here we will share some tips and tricks to help them.
So the journeys are more complex than ever, but I know that there's been a lot of advancements on the technical side in terms of journey modeling research. Michael, can you explain a little bit about some of these advancements from a methods perspective?
Yeah, and actually, while methods are particularly fun, I think it's better to think about first, where do we focus those methods? So I think we have a couple of options when thinking about journeys. The first one being, do we zoom right out and look at the whole mess of online and offline touch points? So think about within your category, do consumers mostly start by searching online, then maybe browsing a brand website, maybe they speak to their friends and family, they may check social media, they may even go in store and browse, and then finally go online and buy. Or do we want to zoom right in onto something like Amazon, for example? When consumers get to Amazon, what do they do first? Do they search? Do they click on a category? Do they look at the trending deals? From there, do they look at reviews? Do they compare prices? And it's by zooming in then we can make some real tactical decisions and on those micro moments.
So it's important that the research allows us to zoom in or zoom out. But let's circle back to the methods, which are very near and dear to our heart at Skim. Minnie, what are some of the advancements in terms of digital techniques that we've seen in this area?
So first start with the traditional surveys. So traditional surveys still play an important role in understanding what consumers have experienced while shopping, especially not online shopping, but the traditional brick and mortar shopping. However, new exciting methodologies have become available that can very well complement the more traditional surveys, so leading to a more holistic picture. Think, for example, about the availability of clickstream data or passive metering data. So these behavioral data sets help us understand which websites consumers visit and how consumers behave, for example, on Amazon. So do consumers use the filter and sorting options in Amazon, or do they mainly use the search options? So this kind of information was unthinkable of a couple of years ago. Also, self-ethnography tools are great in better understanding how consumers shop. So we ask consumers to go to the store, a physical one or an online one, make a video of themselves where they tell us how they shop and what they experience. So in combining all these different kind of data sources, so the self-ethnography, the digital behavioral tracking data, traditional surveys, this all gives us great depth and understanding of consumer journeys.
So there's a lot of potential data and information sources that we can integrate.
Exactly. And this holistic picture is super important for our clients.
And I can imagine that that holistic picture offers more clarity on the real decision journey that's taking place. So how are our clients actually using these new journey insights? Michael, what are you hearing from your clients?
Yeah, and at first it can be quite intimidating when you're dealing with zooming in, zooming out, messy journeys on lots of methodologies. But what we tend to see has the biggest impact is focusing on 3 key questions, regardless of the study you're doing. The first question is, are we prioritizing the right journeys, the right touch points, or the right moments within an ecosystem for maximum impact? Once we know where to prioritize, the next question is then, well, how do we customize those elements for the right customer based on their needs, their attitudes, their demographics? And then finally, once we know we've customized the content, it's delivering it. Are we delivering it at the right moment when we know it's going to have maximum impact? So by focusing on those 3 things, prioritize, customize, and deliver, we usually get to a great spot.
And it sounds like this type of research really impacts a lot of different functions, right? So from marketing to communication teams to even product development. How are clients activating these insights? I can imagine that because it touches on so many different functions that stakeholder alignment can get a bit messy too. Lori, I know that you're quite passionate about this area. Can you talk a little bit about the activation portion of this type of research?
Yeah, I'd love to. So shopper journey insights, they're just different from traditional research insights. Shopper journeys are cross-functional in impact. And so a static PowerPoint report presentation is just not good enough. Activation with all of the stakeholders is required. And what does activation mean? Well, it means interaction. It means brainstorming, prioritizing journey types based on economic potential, brainstorming across channels, product development, communications. And we find that workshops are a really effective way to bring all of these components together quickly and efficiently in a setting that really encourages participation and socialization across the different stakeholder groups. One of our clients even said our workshop was the most fun they've had since COVID. And especially in today's environment, enabling these workshops to be virtual allows clients to be engaged from anywhere, their office or their home. I could spend all day talking about virtual interactive workshops, but I think we're out of time.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts today, Michael, Minnie, and Lori. If you'd like more SKIMspiration on this topic, head over to the blog and check out our 6 steps for mapping today's consumer decision journey. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.